I had 5 years or about 5 years working in Latin America, and that was a very, very good experience for which I'm very grateful. Why? Oh, for a whole series of reasons. The parish that I was in, for most of the time, was in the city called Arequipa, which is the second city of Peru, population a bit of an excess of 1 million. And we had a parish with perhaps 35,000 people, all of whom would culturally be Catholic. But in one of those pueblos, Zamacola, once a month we would go up and have a sort of a social afternoon, I suppose, for those masses of destitute people who lived all around the place in small, little, tiny places. And we would have hot cocoa, and we'd get a tin of broken biscuits from one of the stores in town, and have music and a little bit of prayer, and then also a reflection on the gospel of the day. And this particular Sunday that I remember was the gospel of the master who comes down and wants workers for the day. And so he hires people at the beginning of the day. Later in the day he comes and gets more. Later he comes and gets more. We know the lesson then about him being generous to them all. So I drew my breath and started to speak about this gospel. And some of them interrupted me and said, "Oh, Padre, we know what that's about. We do that every day." And the reason is that if you were going up to the airport, which was up the road there 2 or 3 kilometres from us, there was what we called a bifurcation in the road. 2 roads came together. And there was usually a group of guys, and women folk too, there at that corner early in the morning, waiting and hoping that one of the hacienda owners would come down in his Dodge truck or whatever and hire people for the day. "I want you, and you, and you, and you." And they'd get in the back of the truck and go off to weed carrots or harvest alfalfa or whatever it was. And then perhaps you'd come back later in the day and there'd still be a few stragglers there. And I can remember saying once to somebody, "But it's so late, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, there won't be any work today." "Oh, I don't know, Padre. They say that Don Fernando," or whoever it was, "last night he had a party last night and he was a bit borracho, a little bit too much to drink, and he hasn't come down yet. So he may come down and want somebody." So here's me, this well-educated priest, gringo priest, trying to teach a lesson to these people who understood the parable much better than I could possibly explain to them. That's just one example of the many, many occasions when I learnt so much about myself, my priesthood, the church, and all the rest of it from the poorest of the poor.